Hello, Nick. Okay, so let me repeat what you said, that just because it seems like organisms are intelligent doesn't mean that the complex pattern that they are um, was or is created by intelligence. So right there, what we've done is what you have done is erect a boundary between appearance and reality. Reality is unintelligent, mechanical. I won't say the D word. Appearance is seemingly intelligent, seemingly purposeful, seemingly capable of supporting free will, and so forth. Um, in your first video, you talked about how actually, though it may seem otherwise, organisms do not know anything whatsoever about the environment. Um, and I should specify what I meant by environment. Um, Organisms, because they are organized in very particular ways. Um, each organism, each species of organism has its own particular organizational structure. And because of this, the environment experienced by each organism is different. Um, the Germans call this an Umwelt, U-M-W-E-L-T, which means the cognitive domain of significance brought forth by the organism's organization and activity in the world. So you could conceive of this as sort of a projection or a grid thrown over the neutral physical world by organisms that allows the organism to get around in the world successfully. Now, certain features of this grid projected by the organism do conform with reality itself. For example, a horse knows not to jump off a cliff if it wants to continue to live. So though its experience of an environment is not the physical objective world, it still corresponds to that physical objective world in certain important ways. In the physical objective world, grass isn't food, but in the horse's world, it certainly is. So you could say that there is an appearance for every organism of an environment that they know and feel and interact with intelligently. But then, outside of that appearance, there is this reality where there is no intelligence, no consciousness, no purpose, or anything of that sort. But this kind of presents us with a rather difficult metaphysical problem, doesn't it? How do appearances arise in a world devoid of intelligence, of purpose, of interiority? How does a physical world of just surfaces banging into one another, coexist with this other world of appearance, of consciousness, and so forth? This is an open question to you. Am I going to try to answer it? Well, if you've watched any of my videos about how energy itself, electrons themselves, protons, neutrons, atoms, feel, then you'll know kind of how I try to solve this problem of the dualism between appearance and reality. Where I basically say mind and matter, appearance and reality, we're never separate in the first place. There is no objective reality without a subjective experience to bring it forth. It doesn't mean that the objective world is a projection of the subject. It just means that the objective world could not exist without some type of subject experiencing it. Whether this is an organism or an atom or whatever doesn't really matter. I mean, an atom, as possessing some type of perceptual abilities, is able to, as the quantum physicist would say, collapse the wave function such that there exists only one reality at any given moment, at least for that atom. Technical term for this is decoherence, where the wave function of each individual particle interacts with every other particle's wave function, and so they collapse one another due to their interaction. But that's irrelevant. The question I have for you is, how do you solve this problem, this dualism that you seem to have created between appearance and reality? Because you say, although there seems to be intelligence, there is no intelligence. So how does this seeming intelligence ever pop up in a world completely lacking intelligence? But to get back to your original point, I think what you're trying to say is that, yeah, we cannot know what we do before we do it. We can't even think without, we can't even think with foresight. We can't know what we will think next. And I completely agree with this, because for me this is pointing to the fact that the mind and the world, or mind and matter, are not separate things. That thought is not this disembodied, completely reflective faculty, that in fact thinking is a form of action. Any kind of knowing we do of the world is a participation in the world becoming that. We don't know passively or objectively. Knowing is an active process of interaction with the world, so that when we discover a new fact, we also participate in having created it. So, this is why I'm not sure where we disagree, where we agree, but, I've managed to avoid the D word so far, and, I wouldn't want to accuse you of that. I just wonder if it's just that you don't want that particular word associated with what you're saying because of its negative connotation, or if it's that you're not trying to say that we are the D word. I have a feeling it's the latter. Or excuse me, I have a feeling it's the former, that you don't want to use the word because of its connotations, even though you think it's true. So I'll just stop there, because I've all but used the word, and I want to avoid having you not respond to this video. Yeah, let me know what you think.